Welcome back to another episode of NEPA Story. I'm Kylie Montigney. Today we are introducing you to Kevin Reed. Kevin is the owner of the Reed Advisory Group, which provides strategic partnerships with the best solution providers in their respective fields to bring their services to you at no cost or on a fee-contingency basis. Their menu of services is consistently growing as we are always searching for more ways to bring the most value. Welcome to the podcast, Kevin. I'm super happy to have you on today.
Oh, and I couldn't be more excited myself, Kylie. So it's my pleasure, and thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. So to get into a more deep dive, I know me and you were kind of talking about this before we started recording, but tell us kind of more about you and why you founded Reed Advisory Group.
Sure. My career choice was as a pharmacist. I've spent the last 30 plus years as a pharmacy leader, um, devoting my life to helping people and operating profitable stores. And in the pharmacy business, with revenues so closely tied to third party contracts and those reimbursements constantly shrinking, in order to maintain your competitiveness, you've got to be really tight on your expenses. So when 2020 hit and I saw the profound impact that the shutdowns was having on small businesses, I have a few that I know of, I witnessed in my hometown here that shut down and never reopened. I saw people lose their livelihoods. And as someone who's devoted his life to helping others, I thought to myself, how can I help? So that was where the concept of Reed Advisory Group was born. That, however, was just beginning. The hard work was then seeking out the many ways that we can help businesses on those large expense areas that can consume a lot of time, or if we can provide savings, can add a lot of value to the bottom line.
That's literally awesome. Is I know with when 2020 hit and the pandemic happened, a lot of I know we talked about this before, but a lot of businesses shut down, especially small businesses, because they weren't making any money. People were staying home. Like no one really went out unless it's maybe like grocery shopping, doctors, dentists, like mostly like at the time, like people really left the house if they had to go maybe to the doctors if they had COVID or
Right.
because usually like older people are most likely high risk during COVID. So it's most likely there were a lot of people that going out is because of that. So it's like I feel like a lot of people like started businesses or even a advisory group like yourself because of COVID and why it happened because it gives us a lot of free time to actually do something and kind of relax and figure out what we want to do.
Right, exactly. And I mean, if you weren't considered an essential business during the shutdowns, your doors were shut. So that's where a lot of mom and pops lost their livelihood. And it
That's
just
true.
prompted me to act.
That's true. I feel like COVID really taught a lot of people to like not take things for granted. Of course, we lost a lot of loved ones during COVID, like you said, and that is something that, a lot of people took act on themselves to do something because, they lost their loved ones. They're like, why not do I give back? Especially in community during this time, because a lot of people needed it.
For sure.
Like, how do you guys identify and select the solution providers that you guys partner with at Reed Advisory Group?
That is a constantly evolving process. And when I started looking into solution providers, I'm looking at their track record, how long they've been in business, and their success rate and their client lifespan. I mean, if they offer solutions where the average client is with them for 10, 15, 20 years or more, obviously they're doing something right, and they're obviously providing some value to the client. So the first year and a half, I would say, was spent really building up what I thought were our core offerings at that time. And while my vision and my desire at the beginning was to help the small businesses maybe reopen, help the small businesses get over that hump, as we started adding more and more providers, I realized we really do have something for every business in every industry, large and small. So, whether it be retail, healthcare, manufacturing, school districts, municipalities, even anybody that is looking to save on their operating costs, we've got some value to offer.
Is it specifically just an NEPA, or do you guys do all over, like maybe New York, New Jersey? Like, do you guys do one specific area, or how does that work?
I'm obviously laser focused on helping as many businesses as I can in Northeast PA, but our reach is nationwide.
That's awesome. So, like, when you guys started out with this advisory group, like, how have people reacted? Like, was it kind of a good vibe, or was it like a good reaction to that?
Initially, there's always a little bit of pushback, especially when you deal with people that may be with the larger businesses. People may be set in their ways and think they've got a handle on things. I like to always say we solve problems businesses don't even know they have,
Yeah.
because while they may feel they've got a handle on their expenses, if I've got a provider that can come in and slash their utility bills by 35% and it's all done for them, um, that's a win-win. So initially there was a little bit of pushback in certain industries, but the results really do speak for themselves. I mean, I can just point out two services individually. We have an automated payables and receivables platform that companies can use to manage all their payments and all their invoices. It takes minutes rather than hours. I mean,
Oh,
it
wow.
just it increases efficiency by 60%, boosts productivity by 150%. And that average client lifespan is about 15 years. So they stick with them. Um, Also, we have a shipping provider for any business that does a large amount of shipping. Their average client lifespan is 20 years. I mean, they typically don't leave. So, they're doing something right. A lot of our other services have smaller time commitments that they're tied to, but really the idea is once they reach the end of that client life cycle, those expenses are optimized for the client.
Like, I love the point that you brought up with the first thing that you mentioned, because usually when people do that type of service, it takes maybe a couple months to even a year to put that resolution aside. With
Oh
like
yeah,
that's why I like what you do, is because like it doesn't take that long for you to do. Even though you've been doing this since 2020, like even if another business been around for, I don't know, like 20, 30 years, it still takes them maybe like a couple of months to a year. So it's like with that type of service, people are most likely hooked on something that is much quicker than maybe other big businesses that do the same exact thing.
right. And when you look at some of these larger businesses and the time and resources that it takes devoted to maintaining those expenses, if you have a done for you solution and you're only paying based on actual results achieved, that's where most of the feedback has been really positive. I mean, people just love not having to do the heavy lifting, but reaping the benefits.
And it's honestly one less thing, honestly, people want to do. Like, they rather have someone do this type of thing than their own selves. Because, some people don't strategize in this type of thing. So they're like,
Right.
oh, I might as well pay someone how many much money you guys charge or whatever, how much the business charges for someone that's actually experienced, let alone me spending I don't know how long on doing this, to doing it for months and wasting time to actually hiring someone that's actually knowing what they're doing and spends less time on it than you actually plan on doing.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, when you consider the time and resources that go into that, if you can partner with someone that specializes in that particular niche, then you freed up those resources to focus on really what your core business should be, and that's growth,
Mhm.
rather than dealing with the minutia of the expenses.
True. So the REIT advisory group brings services to clients at no cost or on a continuing basis. So can you explain how that model works and why it's beneficial for your clients?
Sure. The way it works is most of our providers, we do have a few that are subscription based, where they will pay a monthly subscription fee, like our business process automation, which is really popular because it takes a lot of manual processes that a business does throughout the day that also consumes time and resources and can lead to data entry errors when you're manually entering data or you're extracting data from one system that may not communicate with another. But I mean, that's a separate piece in and of itself that we've just taken on recently and have seen great success with. The big advantage with the fee contingency services is the, the providers of the services take on all the risk. They do all the legwork, they do all the hard work. If they're able to save you money, all you're paying is an agreed upon percentage of the money received. So you're paying with found money, the way is what I like to refer to it as. If, on the other hand, they're not able to produce, company never sees a bill. So it really is a no risk value proposition. That's the way I look at it. There's just no reason not to look into it, at least, because you have nothing to lose and you've only got your savings to your bottom line to gain.
Yeah, and it's like a win-win deal either way.
Sure, absolutely.
Like, do you set it up yourself or do you have like other people set it up for your clients?
What I do is I take the whatever areas we identify with a client that we want to work with, I will reach out to the specific provider in that particular niche, or if we have several, we'll set up a quick 15-minute discovery call, go through how the process works, and ultimately they've got the option to decide to move forward or not. But the industry, I give the 30,000-foot overview is what I like to say. I let the industry leading experts get into all the minutiae of how they do it and where the benefit lies. And ultimately, the customer has the final say.
Mm.
Um, in many cases, they can get a free assessment to make an informed decision on certain services before they even decide to move any further. With the others, like I said, when you're dealing with fee contingency, there's no risk. So if
Mm.
they don't save you any money, you're not getting billed. So why not give it a shot? It
True.
truly is a win-win.
Yeah, it is. Like it's like at least you have some sort of call before you maybe hire these type of people for as maybe clients. Because some people oftentimes don't like to go into maybe a business going into their home or setting something up or whatever to do what they need to do or without maybe a certain call on their hands because oftentimes people set up a person or people come do something at their home or online that are like, well, this person cost $350 for something they did not do a great job on, or I did not get enough information on these people to actually set them up.
Right. And I like to speak with either the business owner or if it's a larger company, the appropriate executive, and we'll identify certain pain points on the expense side. And we may just want to tackle one and show the results with that. And if they see the results with that and they're happy with that, then we can dive into others. On the flip side, I've dealt with other businesses that have said, okay, let's move forward with this, and this. And we've set up 5 discovery calls after one brief 15-minute conversation
Oh
just
God.
to just to see the value there. But yeah, if I can identify the biggest pain point where we can reap the most benefit for the client, I'll start with that. And if they can see positive results with that, that opens us up to doing business on maybe other expense items as well.
So, like, what is like your vision for the Read Advisory Group in the next 5, 10 years? I know you guys have been around for about 4 years, but what do you
Right.
guys have planned or visionary per se for the next 5, 10 years?
Well, we're constantly evolving. I've started this focusing on expense reduction, but we're also looking into ways we can help businesses with revenue growth as well. Um, right now, I'm evaluating a provider that may be able to help boost revenue growth for independent pharmacies. That's something we're in discussions on, and I'm vetting that company. So that's not something that's out there yet. But I mean, some of the other areas, we have a free. I could go on and on about services, but we have a pay any day solution that any employer can implement into their business where their hourly workers who are now stretched to the limit, especially with the cost of living now, can access up to 50% of their pay at any time in between pay periods if they need it in an emergency. And the best part of that is it costs absolutely nothing to implement to the company, and it doesn't change the way they alter their payroll either. So we're trying to provide value in terms of offering something to a company that may put them in a position of being a destination for employees. It certainly helps in recruiting because if I was evaluating companies to work for. One offered it and one didn't. I would certainly find that attractive myself.
Hmm.
They also have the option to opt into for a small fee. It's under $10 a month to get weekly deposits in their account rather than waiting on a biweekly check. And if you pull 90%, if you pull hourly workers, you'll probably find about 90% would rather see that deposit come in weekly rather than every other week. And if it costs the company nothing, once again, that's a win-win-win.
Hmm.
So, we're constantly evolving, we're constantly evaluating new providers. So, in the next 5 to 10 years, I look for us to be not only well known throughout Northeast PA, but I look for us to be really a go to strategic partner for any business, municipality, nonprofit, any industry as their strategic partner in lowering costs, helping them increase their revenue, and really just adding to our array of services that makes us that company that they look to just
Hmm.
to hitch their wagon to, so to speak.
That is a good mission, man. Like, you guys are already making a good kickstart out of this so far.
I
A lot
mean,
of people I know have been talking about it, so you guys are starting good on the right foot. But to wrap up this episode, like, how can people connect with you in the Read Advisory Group?
they can visit our website. It is www.readadvisorygroup.com. They can always email me directly at kreed, R-E-E-D, at readadvisorygroup.com. And on our website, there's a contact form. If they complete that, I'll reach out to them as soon as possible, and we can get an idea of what they want to talk about. There is also a link on there to something we didn't touch on, which is our tax management system that is available to any business, which they can take a sneak peek at. And any business, any size, within minutes, they can punch in their numbers, and this system will instantly search for every state, federal, and local tax incentive they may be eligible for, and they can enroll in those right within the system. It's not something we're looking to replace their tax professional with. It's a tool to be used with their tax professional to make sure that they get every credit they're available to. And the link to that website is within readadvisorygroup.com.
Great. So I'll put all that information, everything in the description for you guys to check out. I hope everyone enjoyed this episode. Make sure to go check them out if you ever need help, anything with your business, nonprofit, whatever it may be. It can be really anything, it seems like. But thank you so much, Kevin, for joining us today on NEPA Story. I'm so glad we were able to have this conversation and really appreciate you coming on and taking the time.
It has been my absolute pleasure. And let me just tell you, when you see our catchphrase, your bottom line is our top priority. It's not just a catchphrase, it's what we live by. It is our mission.
That is so true. So it should be everyone's mission. Like, why not? But thank you everyone for listening. Make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for our upcoming episodes. We have so many exciting things planned for next couple of months. But thank you everyone for listening. I'll talk to everyone very soon. And thank